Parshas Toldos. I want to share with you an interesting vart. I'm discussing with the Rav, Rabbi Karp, who I have a relationship with. He's telling me this is a nice vart. I want to share a piece with you. Very different style than what I normally do. Much very Yeshivisha style. But it's important to be able to tap into different types of Divrei Torah. And I personally think it's a very nice idea. And I enjoy this type of Choshen Mishpat stuff, so excited to share with you. So it's in the story where Yaakov and Eisav, where Eisav comes back from hunting, and Yaakov is cooking lentils upon the passing of Avram Avinu, and Eisav says, "I'm starving. Can I have some food? Can you give me some of that red stuff?" So Yaakov says, "Michar chayom, sell to me today your Bechoros for the lentils." So he says, "I'm going to die anyway. What do I need with this Bechoros?" So Yaakov says, "Swear to me." He swears to him, he sells him the Bechoros. And Yaakov gives Eisav some bread and lentils. He eats and he's satisfied and he leaves. And it says, Vayives Eisav es ha-Bechora. Eisav disgraced the Bechora. The Karp shared with me that they say, why is Vayives Eisav es ha-Bechora at the end of the story? Wouldn't it be in the middle of the story when he actually makes the deal? So the idea is, because he says, when somebody, he's starving, he made a bad decision, he should regret it later. When he walks away, now that he's full and he walks away and he says that was a good move, now he really shows his disgrace for the Bechoros. But anyway, two interesting questions to ask on this story. One is, what's the purpose of the Shvuah? To say the Yeshivisha way, migu dechashna mamona chashta shvuas. If somebody is not trusted if somebody is going to be, you think they would rob you, like an Eisav, then what purpose is there in making them swear? Are they really going to keep their word? What is the accomplishment of making him swear? Another question you can ask on the story, we have the concept, the Torah and the Chumash raises this question. The Orach Chaim also brings it up, that we have a concept in halacha, eina damakna davashua bo olam. You can't sell something which doesn't physically exist, which is not tangible. Meaning, for example, a person has fruits on a tree, he could sell the rights to the fruits. A person has a tree with no fruits, he cannot sell the rights to the fruits when they will grow. It's called the davar. It's something that doesn't exist yet. The sale will not be chal on it. It will not be halachically binding. It has nothing to take effect on because nothing tangible here exists. So the same thing, to sell the Bechoros is something intangible. It's something which doesn't really sound right. How could the sale take effect on the Bechoros? So start by sharing with you an interesting story from the Sefer, he quoted to me from the Sefer Zosli Yaakov of Shmuel Yaakov Borenstein, was a Yeshiva in the Hebron Yeshiva. So start with the Chaim Volozhin. So there was a person, and I think it was two people, and they were wandering in the wilderness, and they get lost, and they're going 2 days with no food, their mom is starving. Finally, they smell some good food, they come running. It's like, from guy. And he's making blintzes, and it smells delicious. They beg him, can we please have food? We haven't eaten in days. And he says, I'm sorry, I need this for family Sheva Brachos. There are people coming. I can't give them to you. They say, please, I can't give it to you. Say, we'll pay you for it. I'm not selling it. I need it. You want to buy it? 10 rubles. A crazy amount of money for blintzes. They say, okay, deal. Gives them the blintzes. Then he says, okay, now pay up. They say, fat chance. We're not being ripped off like that for blintzes. Here's the $5 for the blintzes. Have a nice day. So he takes them to a din Torah, very upset. So he goes to Chaim Volozhin. So Chaim Volozhin is thinking, he says to the seller, he says to him, do you know Shulchan Aruch? He says, no, I don't know Shulchan Aruch. He says, do you know Gemara? He says, I don't know Gemara. Because there's an idea in the Gemara, it's brought down, halacha in Simin, Reish Samach Dalad, and Choshen Mish, it comes to the Gemara Yavamis, Daf Kuf Vav, concept of Meshatabach. Somebody's in danger, and he's running away he just escaped from prison, and they're running to catch him, and he runs to the river, and there's a ferry, and he says, please, you got to save me, you got to take me across. Guy says, for you, in this situation, special surcharge, $500. He says, deal, takes him across the river, guy turns, asks for the money, the whole Gemara says you could pay him the normal price. When he complains, you say, Mishata ani bach. I was playing with you. Meaning, I said what I had to say, the way I understand it. I said what I had to say to get you to do what I needed. I was never serious about such an offer. I said it under duress. So, and this is brought halacha, this idea. So he says, So this would be why this blintzah sale, they don't actually have to pay this crazy price. But the guy doesn't know. Guy didn't know from Gemara. So Chaim Volozhin says to him, do you know Chumash? He says, yes. That learned I am. Chumash I know. He says, okay, so I'll explain it to you from the Chumash. So he says, it says in the Pasuk that Yaakov gives Eisav bread and lentils. Why did he give him lentils? Why did he give him bread? He only asked for lentils, so give him lentils. What's the bread about? So it says Chaim Volozhin, because if Eisav is going to sell Yaakov the Bechoros, and he's going to turn around afterwards, he's going to say, as I said, I'm on death's row over here because of the fact that I need food. So that's why I agreed to the sale. I was never serious about this. This is not binding. But he first gave him the bread, and then now that Eisav's eaten some bread, now he's not in danger of collapse anymore. Now, when he agrees to the sale because of the lentils, now it's going to be a good sale. He won't be able to say, Mishata Nibach. Very nice word, explains why he gave him the bread. So in terms of the concept of the Shvuah and the Davar Shel Olam, so the Orach Chaim brings up this question. One approach that he says to the question that it's not a tangible thing, so how could you sell it, is he references a Gemara of a Mitzvah Daf Tes Zayin, Prat Halacha, that you have a poor person who's trapping fish. He's going fishing. He doesn't have what to eat. So he says to somebody, I'll sell you whatever I'm going to catch today. So the Gemara says it works. He says, Mechro Kayom, what I'm selling today, so that works. The way Rashi explains it, Chazal were Masakin, that he should be able to do this in order to have what to eat. They should have a day's ration of food. It wouldn't work you can't sell what I'm going to catch for the next month, but you can sell what I'm going to catch today. And it's not just today. It's an idea of a kayom, a day of a specific day. So that would be a way through this kayom to kind of maybe what the idea of what Eisav is, Yaakov is pulling off here when Yaakov says the lashon of kayom. He brings another idea that the Rosh suggests, that the Torah brings up this question, and the Rosh says this is the purpose of the Shvuah. What the Shvuah accomplishes is it makes it that the sale will be halachically binding. That's what the Torah quotes from his father, the Rosh. Shaios Teshuvas Harivash was very upset about this. He thought that this is probably a forgery, not even a real emistic of art from the Torah and the Rosh. He says, what does the Shvuah accomplish? It's a Davar Shel Olam. So Orach Chaim suggests an approach. There's a question, what's wrong with the Davar Shel Olam? So I think the standard pshat would be to say it doesn't work because it's not tangible, there's nothing for the sale to take effect on. The Nemuki Yosef says the pshat is because people are not somech das. People don't actually have a real intention on a sale to take it seriously if it's on something intangible. But so over here, then you could say that once you have the Shvuah, now that makes it real, right? To agree to a sale and say he's not taking it serious. Okay, but once swearing, that shows that it's a serious Shvuah. Then this would also explain a pshat, what is the Shvuah accomplishing for Eisav? What's the point? Meaning does Eisav take Shvuahs more seriously than murder and robbery? But the idea is that's not the purpose of the Shvuah. The Shvuah was to make it a halachically binding sale, and that's why he asked Eisav that Eisav should swear to him. So that's a little bit of an explanation of why Yaakov gave Eisav bread in addition to the lentils, why Yaakov asked Eisav to swear in the way that he did, and what the Shvuah accomplished, and a little bit of a taste of how there's a lot of halachic concepts found in the Parsha that we wouldn't always notice. Wishing you a wonderful Shabbos.